Joining us now to talk more about those earnings from Intel and Yahoo and the outlook for the technology sector, Josh Spencer. He's portfolio manager of the T. Rowe Price Global Technology Fund. You know, Josh, looking at Intel and Yahoo, the one thing that ties them together, these are about two companies trying to reinvent themselves. So I have two questions for you. In the case of Intel, does it have what it takes to reinvent itself, to jumpstart the company? And in the case of Yahoo, is Marissa Mayer's turnaround strategy working?
Well, thanks for having me on. It's nice to be with you. And you hit the nail on the head. Both companies are reinvention stories. In the case of Intel, they start with a strong suit with their manufacturing. They're actually a world-class manufacturer of semiconductor chips. However, the segment that they sell into, the PCs, is under a lot of pressure. I smiled at the interviews in the Apple segment leading into this. People just aren't using their PCs as much as they did in the past. So I think Intel does have what it takes to turn around eventually, but it'll be a slow process to establish themselves in the smartphone and tablet market. Yahoo's also going through a turnaround, and what we saw this quarter was not much evidence of a fundamental turnaround in Yahoo's business, with revenues actually down a little bit year on year. So that one's still on the come as well.
Are we really going to come to a time where we just don't use PCs anymore? I mean, I know we're migrating to these mobile technologies that we all use, but will we come to a day when we don't use PCs? And who, in your opinion, is better positioned in that regard, Intel or Yahoo?
Well, in that regard, Yahoo would be better positioned. I think it's an exaggeration to say we won't use PCs, but we'll use them for a lot narrower applications. So we might use them at work for spreadsheets, but at home we'll pull out that tablet or that smartphone if we want to check the internet or stay up with video or news. We just will use PCs less and less in our daily life. Yahoo has a better chance to make that transition. Intel, it's establishing themselves into a whole new realm.
Josh, I want to ask you about Apple. You heard John Fort's report on it. Everybody is looking forward to that report, earnings report next week. I know that you are a believer in Apple, but make a case why investors who have lost some faith in this company should take a fresh look at Apple.
Well, we all love Apple products. The customer that you interviewed, that sounds like my house at home. We have Macs, we have iPads, iPhones. We have a 2-year-old and a 5-year-old who love using those iPads, maybe too much. The products are very intuitive. They have a great software ecosystem. We've come to expect innovation from Apple, and I think we will continue to see it in the future. You know, just because they've gone through a little bit of a lull here, let's not throw the baby out with the bathwater. It's easy to forget that Apple has been generating tremendous profits and has over $130 billion of cash on their balance sheet today.
Right. It feels, though, that the innovation has been more incremental than transformational, as we saw during the Steve Jobs era. What do you think the next big thing is from Apple?
Well, it's hard to say. I think they're going to continue to innovate around the iPhone and the iPad products. I think we'll see thinner iPads, and I think we'll see larger screen iPhones and new features like fingerprint sensors. Of course, we've all heard the talk about Apple working on watches and TVs. I think I would buy an Apple Watch if one came out. I think there's a lot of people into fitness who would use it in the gym or while they're jogging outside. And of course, there's many people who would buy an Apple TV at home to solve the nightmare problems that we have with our cable box.
Okay. Josh, do you have any disclosures to make on Apple, Intel, or Yahoo? Do you own any of these stocks?
Apple is the largest position in the fund that I manage, and we do own Apple personally in our family as well.
All right. Thanks so much. Josh Spencer, portfolio manager at T. Rowe Price Global Technology Fund.